when I thought it couldn't be done. When I thought it couldn't be done, that we would go to immense shit in the first time in my life, I wouldn't get angry at almost everything wrong with the paper. Nobody wanted to come. They couldn't even do shit for the stage. The stage was just stomping ground. A few animations. No nothing. They put no boots out. They couldn't like make rubbling concrete or something like that. What the fuck was the concept? WWE lacks so much creativity. It's sad. This pay-per-view was entirely sad to watch. Everything. From the thought of making a pay-per-view called fucking Stomping Ground, when it doesn't even represent a wrestler, a concept, or any gimmick involved in the main event or any part of the matches. The biggest stipulation of Stomping Ground was a steel cage match, and that didn't even tell a fucking story. So we opened up the match with fucking Tony Nese against Akira Tozawa. This was kickoff. I don't care if you people didn't see it. I saw it, and Drew Gulak. It was a spot festy ass match. Pretty physical, pretty hectic. It had some really good German suplexes, knees to the face. It had Drew Gulak capitalizing off Tony Nese outside. I think it was a torture rack, I think to a gut buster or something, but it slammed Akira Tozawa, and now Drew Gulak is the new Cruiserweight champion holder. I don't give a fuck about the belt, sadly. These guys do great matches, but they're only on kickoff. This doesn't value anything involving the title, and it's usually great when it's part of the WWE mid-card. Now you made its own show that nobody watches, so what the fuck's the point? You make all these groundbreaking shows, and no one gives a fuck to watch it. The network works in some aspects that now you have a subscription to nearly watch whatever thing you sort of specifically want to watch. I get it. It's successful. Your core product is fucking not. You're off the life support of the network. You're not doing well with your fucking pay-per-views. You're not doing well off respect and consistency of your wrestlers. You're not doing well off your core revenue streak. I'm talking about televised shows. And I'm supposed to be excited to watch a 1 hour kickoff? What the fuck is that supposed to prove? What the fuck you need a kickoff? What the fuck I had to see a dumbass like Booker T that never been in a steel cage match for most of his career in the WWE talk about the steel cage and just explaining the random ass concepts? You're supposed to escape. You're supposed to leave the cage. You're supposed to pin submitted. It's like some dumb shit. These commentators make no damn sense. They always try to add like 3 or 4 commentators, like sports broadcasts even involve, like they'll do 1 or 2 commentators because they know they don't need that many mouth munchers on the fucking mic, so we can talk about a simplistic thing as 2 grown half-naked men beating the ever-living piss out of each other. Really? This was an alright match, and it's cool that we had the main eventer of WrestleMania 35 to open off the actual show to give us a mediocre showing. There were some decent moves. Her roll up randomly over Lacey Evans' pinfall was decent. Most of this pay-per-view had no storytelling, and you gave it such a name as Stomping Ground, and it did nothing to prove a point. You could see why I'm upset. Over most of the pay-per-view, nobody was willing to watch this. I wasn't willing to watch this because of its corny name, corny theme, every corny storyline that was going on in most of the shows that told no story. How we got rid of most of our groundbreaking wrestlers. Even Ronda Rousey, who I thought last year was going to bomb because of a desperate plea to find some professional fighter that's willing to work for WWE. She turned out great. And now she want to leave because WWE's ass, and I couldn't blame her more. How we get Lacey Evans pushed into the wrestling scene when she can barely even do much to compel a story. just doing pseudo stiff moves at Becky Lynch every time with these random near falls and randomly shouting every fucking time. What does this compel a character for her to be so pushed into the main roster? And we know as soon as next year hits, she's just gonna be in the backstage segment where she gets slapped or some random shit like that. I don't care about Lacey Evans. I don't care that Becky Lynch was fucking both SmackDown and Raw Women's Champion. Then you give her one belt. And the most relevant thing about her now is that she's dating Seth Rollins. That's holding another irrelevant championship in the Universal title. Becky won off an immediate tap out of Lacey Evans, really devaluing the resilience of what Lacey Evans has over most of her tactics not being that chicken shit. And just being incredibly vicious over the course of the matchup. But one cross arm breaker, one disarmer, immediately make her tap out when she wasn't even selling most of the arms. So this made complete zero sense. Really mediocre matchup. Another one was a decent matchup involving the New Day versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I think this was brought up to the fly because they forgot that they had a storyline. And it's like, oh, I think Owens, Sami Zayn, and of course Xavier and Big E been part of screen time for a while, involving two guys that were already feuding and another two guys that were already feuding. So let's put him in a tag team match. It didn't even challenge him or anything. They just had an impromptu scheduled tag team match with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Then I think Kevin Owens kissed Sami Zayn in the cheek and involved plus the fat gets shit by 2%. This was a decent matchup. It was just Enziguri's big boots, bloody blah. Shockingly, the fucking New Day lost. So it wasn't much off a fucking random stunner that still gets finishes instead of, the more practical, the more easy to see, easy to notice, and more calculated move as the pop-up powerbomb over for a random ass stunner that's been getting 3 counts since he returned back in the ring like weeks before WrestleMania. And I'm supposed to chop this up as, oh, what a decisive finish. Kevin Owens' stunner is somehow getting 3 counts more than his fucking pop-up powerbomb that pinned John Cena a couple of years back. This match was just so corny. It was just a reason for these niggas to do something. I didn't care. Next up was the second best match on the show. Well, the only match, thanks to like the core show now. We're not on a kickoff. This was an alright match. I like Ricochet getting popped over like a filter fish with his fingering himself ass, taking STOs, taking real bumps like a complete boss, just taking it like Samoa Joe's really handing him some real impactful pain, hitting him with a huge enziguri, flopping over. It's just Ricochet's an impressive wrestler. And it's sad to know that he's going to have a good match with Samoa Joe, but days before, it's leaked that he likes fingering himself up his own asshole. So you gotta win-lose on that occasion? I don't know. That's really disgusting. Because I really like Ricochet in the ring. Noticing that he fingered himself really doesn't make me feel happy, whoever shook his hand over that backstage segment. Charlotte, that now has the inspiration to do that to Andrade now, is really the biggest inspirational thing that happens over the night after Stomping Grounds. This is just a random pay-per-view name now. They couldn't even do much. It's like, oh, this is right after Raw? This is right before Raw? Oh, keep making the stage look the fucking same. Like, you really think fans are really willing to see a pay-per-view? And the stage is not what they hope for when they have to pay more for a pay-per-view than they do have for a Raw ticket? Are you sure it's that worth it? Hell, we don't even have to make the stage good now. Like Extreme Rules is next. We're gonna make it look like fucking the live event stage. That's smaller than an NXT stage. Another one was the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Pretty impressive match involving Otis. Really impressive. Then we had a huge crossbody. Then a clothesline. I think Otis picked. Tucker Knight also involved in the moonsault. Decent selling and really shows how much. If this is like right after the celebration Ricochet, it's like a few seconds. They couldn't even show like this NXT pickup that we were so hyped on involving Aleister Black that still hasn't competed in a one-on-one match since their breakup on the tag team thing. Thanks they got switched up. And then they just immediately transitioned to the tag team title match. And Otis and Tucker Knight did a decent performance against Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan that everybody and your mother forgot that they were tag team champions. This was a pretty decent match, and they lost off an immediate roll up off Daniel Bryan. So it was really a decent match, and that was my. And I know this is going to continue because they have a really shitty tag division. Everybody forgot that the Ascension exists. Shit, wasn't like Apollo and Titus a tag team for a while? The Usos, the New Day, somehow don't want to compete anymore because they're involved with Kofi Kingston now. Shelton Benjamin can't make a tag team anymore for some apparent reason when he's obviously a tag team specialist. And Apollo Crews is too busy with Andrade for some apparent reason. We don't even know what Chad Gable's doing the fucking notes for. So there's no storytelling. They're always leaking this random shit. And this happens like always. It's terrible storytelling. It does nothing. This match didn't even potentially do something. They didn't even earn their shot. And like the week before, they jobbed out some jobbers. And then they jobbed out some local jobbers to get the title shot. So what's the strength heaving here? Because we know how the heavy machinery is impressive in the ring, but it's like, I really got to waste time for them just to lose. This was an entertaining match, so I'm not going to say much. The heavy machinery haven't done much. Obviously, they might get a rematch come Extreme Rules in a different stipulation, thanks to like the opposing sides being like one is vegan and one is like a meat eater, so something like that. Opposing sides doesn't bother me. Next up was Alexa Bliss versus Bayley for the SmackDown Tag Team, the SmackDown Women's Championship, involving Nikki Cross on her corner for some apparent reason. Still, that Nikki Cross kind of fucked up, intervening when she was about to hit the Bliss thing, that stupid crooked moonsault that looks a bit smooth, with very little selling, just running knees all over the place. Bayley still can't tell the story. Obviously, Alexa Bliss was right that, Bayley peaked on NXT because she has no storytelling ability, even though she's supposed to be the super babyface, this ultimate underdog of the women's division, and yes, she's already a decade of women's champion. And the reason why people are leaving, even though like they're decade of champions, because they do nothing with them. They're not mainstream. They don't have compelling characteristics about each other. They just prove to everybody that there's no point watching them. Like, I really just wanted Alexa Bliss to be women's champion again, or something for Nikki Cross to actually do something. This was just pointless. This was just a reason for Nikki Cross to act stupid and just randomly intervene after Alexa Bliss was about to do her finisher. Not even after she didn't even get hit by Alexa or anything. It's just really stupid finish. I did not like this match. But fucking Bayley is women's champion. Fucking depressing. Next up, Roman and McIntyre. And what did I get from Roman and McIntyre? The exact same fucking match that I got for the last several months. Now, for most of my time, you have a big dude like McIntyre, and you have a big dude named Roman Reigns. You have two big hosses that obviously Roman is a world champion, family dude, has a legacy in the WWE. McIntyre came back from not the best start of his career after like the most notable thing about him before he came back was 3MB. And it's like, oh, this might be cool. Except they wrestled like 2 months ago. They wrestled like a month ago back at no, like 2 months ago back at WrestleMania. So what's the reason why this? After Roman lost to fucking Shane, he just wrestles McIntyre again. For what reason? It's a different stipulation. It's called Stomping Grounds. They don't even have a different stipulation. What the fuck? They just had a one-on-one match. It wasn't even an impressive match. It's like the same thing. Like, you take it like these guys haven't wrestled before. McIntyre said he would hurt him. How? The only way you would hurt him, literally, is to have a fucking weapon out. Shane McMahon just came out intervening. It was like, it's a Monday Night Raw match. They didn't break a table. They didn't break a chair. They didn't knock out the referee so they can bring a weapon. It's just a reason for McIntyre to do the stupid Claymore kick. That's him chucking his goddamn self midair and hitting the goddamn kick right to the fucking kisser. It's not even a Future Shock DDT anymore. It's just Claymore kick, Claymore kick, Claymore kick. Now that it's a cool looking move. I'm not gonna blame you if you like it. It's a cool looking move, but it's like something that should be used in a last resort. Not like the result of every finisher, as much as Roman gets that boring ass spear that he does every fucking time. Roman did win off of a spear out of nowhere when he was attempting to kick. He took a spear right to the gut, got rid of Shane. Roman picks up the victory. What story did this tell? That Shane is still feuding with Roman for some apparent reason, and then Shane immediately challenged Roman to a handicap match the next night on Raw. So this is pointless. Now these pay-per-views feel like D-level shows. Come on! If you wanted to do this, why didn't you make a special event at main event? You forgot that's still like a minor show. That used to be like one of the bigger shows to watch on WWF or WWE television. Saturday Night Main Event, completely devalued. Superstars, completely devalued. You made a pay-per-view named Stomping Ground, and it doesn't conclude fucking shit. Why would you make a new pay-per-view concept and it doesn't conclude shit? All there was one title change, and I know Samoa Joe's just gonna ask for a new title shot, and I don't know if anything's gonna change come SummerSlam. Two wet-haired fucks having a wrestling match, and McIntyre looks like he can literally kill a man with his bare hands now, and he's stuck still being the lapdog of Shane McMahon and just told no story. That's what the last two remaining matches told. Come on, man. The second to last match before the main event was involving Kofi Kingston and Dolph Ziggler in a steel cage match for the WWE Championship. And I don't give a fuck what I'm about to say right now. If you're a real wrestling fan, you would agree with me. If you're a real fucking man, you know I don't mean anything to Kofi Kingston. You know why? Because I grew up with this dude. I used to have an action figure of this dude. I used to want to do what the fuck he did at WrestleMania, Elimination Chamber, any dumb crap athletic he can do. I wish I could do that shit. And it was like cool. He's like the Black Rob Van Dam. And now he's like the Black Nothing with the belt. This championship didn't tell any story. It's a steel cage match in a new pay-per-view. What does this concept give us? Just a reason to make a new pay-per-view name. After the shithole that was Super Showdown. And I thought I wasn't going to get more upset come Super Showdown. You know why? Because I was expecting it to suck. None of the top stars that fans really wanted to be there. It's already sus enough how WWE got their money from them. And how depressing it was a main event. And now we get the guys that actually want to be in the pay-per-view thanks it's in the States. And I don't give a shit about Dolph Ziggler and Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship in a steel cage match. If I gave you this idea like 10 years back, you would say, fuck out of here. And now it's 10 years after. Fuck out of here. This match told no story. This just ended with Kofi leaping out the ring. Like Dolph Ziggler couldn't do the same, getting dragged, just dragging his carcass down the ring for some apparent fucking reason. Like his body broke or something. These guys didn't even slam at the same time on the fucking steel cage. I don't think anything important happened in the steel cage. New Day didn't bring a weapon. No compelling thing happened. Nobody was bleeding. Nobody suffered a severe injury, and yet Ziggler kept dragging himself near a fucking door. No double crossing segment. No nothing. Why do you have to name this shit Stomping Ground? Stomp on fucking McMahon's neck if he gives me another pay-per-view new name, and he does nothing with that concept. What the fuck does Stomping Ground means? Take what names? Do what? What the fuck? Was I supposed to be impressed? Kofi Kingston defending his WWE Championship against former Universal Champion Kevin Owens. He beat a fat fucker. He beat Daniel Bryan, that I never liked as WWE Champion. He beats Dolph Ziggler, that's been the most underachieving guy to get over for nearly 10 years. In a steel cage match that I nearly slept over the pay-per-view. I nearly slept during a steel cage match. You know how depressing you have to be? Or boring? Or just out of fucking mind-blowing ideas. Fucking terrible to produce a match where I don't want to see a cool stipulation as a steel cage match for the biggest belt in the goddamn franchise. You gotta be retarded. These guys were banging themselves on the steel cage. It didn't prove anything. Just a few drop kicks. These guys were nearly evenly matched. While Dolph Ziggler was just, over the course of SmackDown and Raw, just saying that, oh, people are just going to be upset at you. It should have been me. He wasn't even desperate. He didn't use the door to try to think he can grab a steel step, a steel chair, grab a metal rod, do something, spice up something. It's a steel cage match. You're allowed to do cool stuff like that. The coolest thing was Kofi hopping like it's tax time and trying to get the kids out the fucking cage. This was so boring. Trying to mix in fast-paced action of two mediocre mid-card talents that barely been in any entertaining storyline ever against in a steel cage match where, like, you've seen Jeff Hardy made exciting. The Undertaker, Triple H, John Cena at times. Even though whatever you say about him, at least John Cena can make a match feel important. Kofi Kingston and Dolph Ziggler were feuding for a belt, like one time Dean Ambrose, when he was skinny and scrawny as fuck, was given the world title and hyped up a match a few nights before SummerSlam, facing Dolph Ziggler just 2 years before, like 3 years before, and they had a mediocre match because both of them couldn't tell a story to save their fucking careers. Next up was involving Seth Rollins against Baron Corbin for the WWE Universal Championship. Now, listen. There's a lot of things you can't fuck up, and it's against the referee to change the tide for for a World Championship match, especially the main event. And it was cool. It was all right that they had a woman to make sure Rollins doesn't beat her up, I guess. So Rollins just instantly abused, and Lacey Evans changing the rules, and it's like, it's supposed to be cool, except I don't care. I was nearly out. I was about to sleep. I was really going to sleep because Baron Corbin is so fucking boring. Apologize for that. But Baron Corbin is so boring. And most of the time, I try to watch a pay-per-view is to see what's going to happen. What's going to be the next step? What's going to be interesting about this? A guest referee, Becky Lynch, came. Bloody bloody blah. Curb Stomp came. Becky Lynch, because they were dating, is the only female to come out and beat the shit out of beat the shit out of beat the shit out of Lacey Evans, even though they had a title match before. Come out, intervene, and niggas gonna eat this up because they're dating, and people like drama more than they like an entertaining action soap opera like theater like professional wrestling. And this match didn't do anything. People literally want to watch this because they thought Brock Lesnar was going to cash in. It was just a field goal random ass moment. It was a feel good random ass moment that was so disinteresting. And it just had Lacey Evans low blowing Rollins, doing a few stupid moves, grabbing a steel chair, continuously hitting him in the back. Then Becky Lynch came and did nothing. This show gets a 3 out of fucking 10. Other than one good match, two decent matches. No storytelling in a steel cage fucking match. Oh wow, I'm pissed. Over my time of watching a lot of pro wrestling, I watched character change from babyface to heel, join faction, backstabbing, fucking live sex celebrations. I've been there when WWE had the fucking Muppets on their show. I've been there since they had an anonymous GM that somehow became Hornswoggle. I've been there when Eugene literally turned heel off his own mental disability. I've been watching this shit and it sucks. But I never said that there wasn't positives, and this show wasn't it. Concept wise, no. Look at the online. Look at the attendance. Nobody wanted to give a fuck. If you put this in a small stage, nobody would come. That's how in deep shit WWE is. This show didn't prove anything. No heel turn, no conclusion of a storyline, no nothing. Because this has no storylines. This has no era, this show has no identity, and so doesn't WWE. I really wanted to give this show a bit of a chance, since I gave a decent reviews of both Raw and SmackDown, the go-home shows before Stomping Grounds, and I thought this might grab me a 5 or a 6 out of 10. This was just a 1.0 of Backlash, and most of the wrestlers were just having pseudo rematches for Money in the Bank and Super Showdown, with just some random mid-card matches sprinkled in, and a kickoff show for no fucking reason. Except, I'm scared that people are not watching the show. Let's bump it to fucking 7 o'clock. So trash that you think you can't catch people's attention. You really think you can actually grab someone's attention for 3 hours of fake fighting and 3 dumbasses on commentary? One female that can't even call a wrestling move. One old fucker that's been in the business for over 20 years and still can't catch the attention of anything. It doesn't even have a fucking memorable quote like JR or Jim. JR or Jerry the King Lawler, or fucking Booker T. And Corey Graves, that's been in so much controversial shit and has been such a gay dyke, and the only notable thing he can do in his commentary is call what the fucking injury is. Try to be a faggot and insult one black man on the commentary table. That's literally every pay-per-view. That's literally every Raw. And this is supposed to be the major source of income and the major reason why people should be watching their product. Their fucking product. And I was not impressed. He made a new pay-per-view name. That's it. We forgot cool names like Unforgiven, Judgment Day, Fully Loaded, Armageddon, No Mercy, fucking Hell, Vengeance, Payback. Did we forget that those shows exist? Clean slates? You couldn't even have a 24/7 championship match, like a scramble match or battle royale. Something. Add something into the show. Spice it up a bit. I don't want to see Rollins versus Corbin again. I don't want to see Kofi against anybody. I don't even want to see him holding the fucking belt. I wanted to be optimistic or something. I just wanted to be like in a mellow attitude, talking about the show. If it didn't catch my attention, fine. If it had some decent wrestling and it wanted to continue a storyline involving Brock Lesnar or something, fine. And I would have just gave this a 5 out of 10. Went along my day with my Raw review and been absolutely fine for the rest of the afternoon without any headaches. And I have to deal with this headache. And it didn't even catch my eye. The 2 women title matches, nothing caught my eye. The only thing that caught my eye is a dumbass that won the US title and then somehow got leaked that he fucking fingered himself. Is that really what we're up to in this day of age? Is this what we're up to? WWE. Is this your way of trying to get subscribers to only get your network and nothing else to watch your television program? To watch your stupid, ugly-ass YouTube channel and not watch your major source of income? To go to Saudi Arabia to watch a show that no one cares, not even gay guys are allowed to watch it? And now no one wants to watch a bit of Monday Night Raw? Because in 3 hours and most of your roster gone to shit and 200 niggas are on your payroll and not even enough screen time? I applaud it. The beginning to end, I applaud. Because all I know is WWE is never predictable in success and always predictable for disappointment for this time. All I got was no storytelling. All I got was no concept, just a reason to name a fucking pay-per-view Stomping Ground. How groundbreaking. Oh shit, I didn't even see like your top guys. Your Intercontinental Champion, gone. Lashley, Strowman, weren't they feuding for a while? Gone. Nakamura, Rusev, where the fuck are they? They were supposed to be your potential top guys for the future. Nakamura, he won the 2018 Royal Rumble. He hasn't been competing in weeks, months. Rusev, where the fuck is he? No tag division to save your fucking careers. I don't give a fuck about AEW. I just want something to fucking watch now. And now people are gonna think I'm gonna have the same energy when it comes to my Raw review. I don't want to. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be negative talking about the show. I want to be like, holy shit, did you guys see what happened on Stomping Ground? It's so awesome. Here's my take on it. No! Not even a smidgen of that. You don't want to talk about me for 30 minutes about a man fingering his asshole in the most forgetful 3 hours of my fucking life. I think that was 4 hours since it like lasted to 7 to 11 or 10. I can't do math, but I think it ended like 7 to like 10:30, 10:15. To nothing. 4 hours of nothing. A steel cage match worth of nothing. 2 big guys wrestling for fucking nothing. We don't have a tournament. We don't have a story. We don't have injuries. We don't have drama. All I have is 2 forgettable bland fuckers that are holding the most important belt in the company, dating, and nothing important happens. I got a dumbass that just won a belt, put a finger up his crack, and I think showed a dick video. Fucking, we got NXT pickups that are so injury prone, and goddamn Lars Sullivan. And so much potential talent that I thought would leave. One goes to what would be potentially the rival promotion, at least the alternative program to watching WWE. Most of them retire early or get injured or work in Impact or Ring of Honor or something else. They don't want to work for WWE. You have 200 guys that know that they're promised for absolutely fucking nothing. And I hope all of this was worth it. For just nobody to show up to your show in a 3-star rating. Hopefully that's all y'all faggots get from me. Because I feel like already quitting the show already. And I just talked about the most disturbing things you don't want to share with your friends or some shit. Because obviously I don't. And you don't either. Thank you for watching. Stick to me when it comes to my Raw review and SmackDown reviews. Maybe I'll pick up NXT things I don't like watching 1 hour swivel for like a pretty fun takeover event that only comes like 2 months each. So thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Thank you.